This is your WCIA 3 forecast first, sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Well, I've got some rain out there on this Tuesday. See these showers showing up mainly along I-57 and kind of to the east here, especially down into portions of Coles and Edgar County, Newman over to Chrisman, and definitely down into the Charleston, Ashmore, Oakland area fighting the showers. Down into Clark County here as well, Cumberland County, Neoga over to Toledo, Casey, and Marshall, all seeing some of those light rain showers push off to the east. Before too long, we won't see a whole lot of rain, but we are definitely going to see a huge drop in the temperature. Take a look at this. 61 in Champaign. We're now back down to the low 50s out in far west central Illinois, and we are going down tonight with temperatures getting to the mid-30s. Okay, it's going to cool off. Tomorrow, a much cooler day, and temperatures go below freezing as we head into later this week. We'll talk about that, but how you are going to really enjoy the weekend forecast we have to share with you. And we'll do that when we come back. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now on WCIA 3 News.
There's been a rush to return to dining inside restaurants. Why? Some are saying not so fast, even if you're vaccinated. Plus, we're 1 week away from the consolidated election. Which county, again, has an issue before you vote?
And also tonight, Little League is set to make a return this year. But will some have what it takes to field a team?
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 6.
It is just a matter of a few more weeks, a few more months, and we are on our way to normalcy.
You heard it right there. Health officials urging you to stay vigilant in the weeks ahead with the threat of a possible fourth surge of coronavirus. Good evening. I'm Paul Cicchini.
And I'm Jennifer Roscoe. More restaurants are reopening for indoor dining as vaccination rates go up, but doctors are worried people could let their guard down. WCIA 3's Jen Lask is live in downtown Champaign. And Jen, it's looking a little different there than it did just a few weeks ago.
It is, Jennifer, because as the vaccination rates go up, as the temperatures go up, the number of domes that you would see out here, they're going down. But health experts warn it's not safe for everyone to go back to indoor dining just yet.
And in the last 1 week or 10 days, we have seen that. We have seen that a lot of the cases, almost a quarter of the people that have reported to us, they have reported that they have been to restaurants and bars.
The Champaign-Urbana Public Health District is worried about a slight uptick in cases as the 7-day positivity rate went from 3.1 on March 20th to 3.4% a week later.
And it should not have been the case because we are vaccinating people.
At Esquire Lounge, manager Paul Higgins says his team is doing everything they can to stay open safely.
It's been one phase after another, making adjustments wherever we can.
Customers are taking notice.
I'm starting to feel a lot more comfortable as people get vaccinated and everything, and I feel like everybody's doing a good job with the mask policies.
Higgins says most workers are now fully vaccinated.
You know, some of our clientele is a little bit older, so you really want to be careful with those people.
Dr. Awais Vade with CUPHD says as long as you're with family or fully vaccinated, eating indoors should be fine.
But once you start going beyond that, once you are not vaccinated and you are socializing with people outside your cohort, you are risking yourself as well as your family and friends.
And the last thing anyone wants is to undo that trend in the right direction.
We're in the hospitality business. This is a place where we want people to be comfortable and happy, but at the same time, we got to keep people safe too.
And one thing Dr. Vade stressed to me is that more than half of the new cases of COVID-19 they're seeing right now are from that new variant, the B117 strain. Now, that's why he's saying until the vaccination rate goes up, it's important that you keep your masks on when you are going indoors until you are seated at your table or going to the grocery store, for example. Live in Champaign, Jen Lask, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
Go get those shots. All right, Jen, thank you.
The state is getting closer to hitting the bridge phase on the way to fully reopening. As of today, over 69% of the state's senior population has gotten at least one dose of the vaccine. It has to be over 70% to move forward, but that's not the only metric holding the state back. WCIA 3's Cole Hankey's in our Capitol newsroom tonight. Cole, what else is taken into consideration here?
Well, since Governor Pritzker announced the bridge phase, the number of new hospitalizations in the state has steadily climbed. And that is what is keeping Illinois from getting on this 28-day on-ramp to fully reopening.
The bridge phase is meant to bridge the gap between the current COVID mitigations and fully reopening. But since the governor's unveiling of the new plan, new hospitalizations in the state have steadily gone up, and it's keeping Illinois from moving on.
Unfortunately, we've seen over a number of days now, those numbers are going up, and particularly new hospitalizations. It's not just the number of people in hospital beds, but new people showing up.
When Governor Pritzker announced the bridge phase, Illinois was on pace to reach it in early April. Nearly 70% of the state's population of people 65 and older have gotten the vaccine. But the state won't be entering the bridge phase until after hospitalizations drop. New hospitalizations have increased every day for the past 2 weeks with no sign of slowing down.
That's why we're asking people to get their vaccinations. We're asking people to continue to watch their distance, wear a face covering, work from home, have proper hand hygiene, making sure they're still sanitizing, because if we do all of our precautions, we are going to reduce the spread in our community.
The increase in new hospitalizations comes with a decrease in the average age of people in the hospital. With more of the older population inoculated, more younger people are taking up hospital rooms. And even though the vulnerable populations are getting the vaccine, they can still be at risk if another outbreak happens.
Just because you get the vaccine doesn't mean that you won't get COVID. It's the severity of COVID that we're trying to prevent with the vaccination. And of course, with all the other steps that we've been talking about for the last year.
Now, there are 3 requirements for the state to enter the bridge phase. One of them is over 70% of the 65 and older population in the state getting vaccinated. The other 2, over 20% available ICU beds being available, and a steady, the number of hospitalizations staying steady for a 28-day period, which right now, obviously, over the past 2 weeks, that's been increasing. Paul?
All right, Cole, some good information. Thanks for the update. State's positivity rate continues to climb, now 3.9%, 2,400 new infections of COVID. Another 17 people have died in the last 24 hours. Almost 87,000 more people were vaccinated in the past 24 hours. 7-day average, now over 105,000. More than 5.6 million people have gotten the vaccine.
People of all different backgrounds are outside, rain or shine, to spread an important message. A Stop Asian Hate rally is happening in downtown Champaign. Dozens were outside with signs spreading the message. This comes after a shooting in Georgia that killed 6 Asian Americans. And today, police in New York are investigating 2 different crimes against Asian Americans. Urbana ballots have a typo on the length of a term for school board. The ballots say the school board positions are up for election are for 4-year terms, but this time, because of upcoming redistricting, those terms are just for 2 years. There will be signs in polling places about the term length, and notices will be put in vote-by-mail ballots.
It's not something that affects the will or the intent of the voter at all. We don't anticipate it having any impact on the outcome.
Now, this isn't the first time there have been issues with ballots. Some vote-by-mail applications were sent with the wrong zip code for the return address last summer. In that case, Ammon said he alerted the postmaster so ballots would go to the clerk's office.
She just became a full-time officer. Why this cop now needs help.
And also tonight,
being a volunteer coach it plays such a vital role.
the pandemic canceled so many outdoor sports last summer. What's now stopping some kids from getting on the field this year?
Kevin, it was kind of an enjoy it while it lasted, but it'll return.
Yeah, if you were out, around midday, it was 72 degrees out there, and now that temperature's 20 degrees colder.
Ooh.
And we've had some rain out there. It's going to get quite a bit colder over the next few days. Recap today as we look at the Flooring America Gibson City Area Hospital camera. Look at that, 73 and 45, the numbers. That wind today was quite gusty, especially early on. So we'll show you the rain. We'll talk about the colder temperatures, but the weekend bounces back very nicely. Coming up.